Baxi and Jetsi Timbers podcast. Today we're here with Jetsi, Roberta, and
Good
Baxi,
night.
Luciana. Jetsi, what are we going to discuss today?
Today we're going to discuss the very suspenseful Netflix series Shadow and Bone.
Okay, so Shadow and Bone. In Shadow and Bone, a pulled apart nation in desperate need for unity, a young soldier discovers the power she held that later on becomes a threat by the use of music, low-key lighting, and angles.
That is very, very interesting, Baxi. Why
Thank
don't we jump into it?
I think you're right.
That tonight it's a really suspenseful night.
It is, in fact.
So, in the first scene, we're going to analyze music. And I think this is a really interesting scene she doesn't know yet, Alina Starkov doesn't know yet that she is not only a Grisha, but one of the most powerful Grishas ever to live. And even before she knows it, she's already facing threats. So this man is looking for her to be able to get across the hold. And when he asks someone to go get her for her, this suspenseful, non-diegetic music enters the scene, floods the scene, filling the viewers with a sense of suspense and also a sense of worry because we know that she is now threatened because of her power.
Yes. So in this scene, this really powerful man just discovered that Alina Starkov has this power. She is the sun summoner. So this means she has a power of controlling light. In this scene, when this really powerful man says, "Now bring me Alina Starkov," this fast-paced music starts, and it is increasing, and it gets more intensified throughout the end of the scene, towards the end of the final episode.
Of course, and I think music overall is a great way to lead the viewer and the audience through a storyline or through a specific meaning. And I think this is what we received here. Like there had nothing been done specifically to Alina Starkov. We had no idea what was going to happen to her. We just know that we just know that she is now powerful. And just in a few seconds, we found out that she is now powerful. This intense, fast-paced, suspenseful music starts, and this is the way, without like telling us directly that something is going to happen further on. This is the way for the audience to understand, even subconsciously, that now Alina is threatened.
Of course. And this relates to why having power is a threat. Because Alina Starkov wasn't known by anybody before she had any power. And right now she's known by everybody and searched by everybody throughout the series. And she becomes the sense of power, but at the same time, she gets all these threats. And the audience gets to know this, as you said, Jetsi, by the music.
Great. So then we have the next scene, which in this scene, I think the thing that stands out the most is lighting. And even though there's a big, like ray of light, this scene would be considered low key lighting. And the lighting also like gives into a suspenseful kind of mood.
Yes, so of course, as you see that everything around the two characters in this scene is stark, is in a low-key lighting, as Jetsi said. When you see this like big lighting in the middle of the scene, it still doesn't add much lighting to the actual moment and to the actual event, but it represents that something new is happening. There's a new chapter, and in this case, she is being threatened. So, but at the same time, using this low-key lighting, but this strong lighting that emerges from the middle of the frame, from the middle of the screen. This is not just something that introduces a new character, a new plot, a new problem, but actually worries the audience by intensifying the moment.
Great. Like adding to what Baxi said, like from this moment on, her power becomes the central theme of the story. Before this, she was just a normal cartographer. But even in this scene, with the lighting showing, not she's not the most important part of the scene, but it's her power. It's the light, and like bringing that much attention to the fact that to the light makes it clear to the audience that from now on she is not seen as a person, she is not seen for her power.
Of course. And finally, we have the angles. This, for a little bit of context, is when Alina Starkov is already a geisha, and she's brought into this um fancy way of transportation and everything, and suddenly a bomb emerges, and people, well, this man takes her from the um from the cubicle and gets her out into the light. So of course this is an eye level angle, and it's like it sets a frame where the camera is in the darkness and presents this way of suspense, and this thing that Alina is being take out of that darkness, but at the same time the darkness becomes a friend to the audience and the light becomes a threat.
Of course, like I would also consider this, I don't know about you, but I think it's medium shot. And I think the fact that we can see it from such like a close perspective, such a close angle, and with these type of lightning like focused on the way she is treated violently, makes us feel or kind of emphasize with Alina and how her power, more than being a power, more than being a gift, it's a threat. And I think the whole debate in this series, or at least the first chapters, is how power is not a gift, but it's a threat. And I think it's in this scene it cannot be more clear. Like the way he is holding her, the way the camera is positioned in the frame and the angle is just it just makes the viewer feel the threat she's feeling. It just the fact that it's eye level can kind of make you feel like you kind like in that position, like you're in that fancy carriage with her, and she's being taken away in front of your eyes because again it is eye level. So I think that's the importance of the angles in this specific scene.
Of course, I would have to disagree a little bit with you Jetsi, about how um having power having power doesn't mean a gift, but it only means a threat. I think that this time, of course, in this specific beginnings of an episode, Alina hasn't done anything with her power, but at the same time we all know that having a power is a gift, but it comes with a lot more threats than what one imagines. And this thing, like this specific scene, is setting a frame where Alina is actually far from the camera and is being taken away from the camera. So she is small, and you can see her hands grabbing the two cushions or seats that actually form the frame, and you can see the tension in her hands, but at the same time you see the backlighting um like behind her that is taking Alina from the camera. And this also um adds to why having power is mainly a threat.
Yes. And also since she is the main character in this show, I think we kind of perceive it the way she is perceiving it. And as for now, she definitely does not think of her magic, of her power as a gift or as something meaningful. On the contrary, she thinks of it as a curse, of something that will only bring her negative things into her, like negative aspects into her life. And I think that's why the first few chapters, like you can kind of perceive the way she is feeling with this, new way of living.
Of course. In that I agree, Jetsi.
Bye, viewers. I hope you enjoy our chapter. Come back for the next one. Jetsi and Baxi.